Have you heard the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover? But that's what people do, right? We judge everything by outward appearances. In my experience, a great album cover can make or break the decision on whether I buy an album. So go on a journey with me as we look at some great album cover designs and talk about why I believe that you need a personal designer for your album artwork. This is Judged by the Cover. Hey guys, welcome back to the Judged by the Cover podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Phil.
And today we are talking about an iconic album.
Yeah.
We could call it that, right?
Oh, 100%.
An album that, everybody knows of this album, right? It's probably an album that shaped culture, music, MTV. Gosh. I mean, kind of the accolades kind of go on and on, right?
Yeah.
And so just a big time album, an album that I've never spent a lot of time with. I mean, obviously, I know Beat It, Thriller, Billie Jean, even what's the title track? Or what's the first track on it?
Want to Be Starting Something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was on the radio.
Oh,
a lot.
Nonstop.
And so, I know of all these albums, but I was never personally, a Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah.
As, a musician and a creative, I really appreciate Michael for, as an artist. But,
Yeah.
I never loved the music because, I don't know if it was Jackson 5, Michael Jackson, just the high-pitched voice, just, soft, right?
Yeah.
Because, I grew up on 80s music, but I was, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses,
Yeah.
the heavier stuff. That was what I was drawn to more and more.
That's interesting. And because I'm a little bit, I'm older than you. Not a little bit. But I think for me, there were less choices. When this came out, it came out in 1982. Mm-hmm. I was 13. But you weren't born. When were you born?
89.
89. So we came at different, we got introduced to this album at different times, And for me, there were less choices. So how I discovered Thriller was, again, at my buddy's house, probably on a sleepover, and my friend had it, and he's like, you're not going to believe this. Because this friend probably introduced me to Off the Wall, and what they were trying to do with Thriller is not top it, but it had to be there. The bar was set with Off the Wall. This was the follow-up.
Yeah.
So the stakes were super high, and I remember when I heard this album, I was like, whoa, that's incredible.
Yeah, sorry. We have new technology, and so if you notice that cameras are doing funny things, or we're getting weird beeps and stuff like that.
Or they attack
us. It's because technology.
AI cameras. These things might just take over the room.
So, yeah. Anyway, let's jump into Thrill, right? But before we do, let's take a second. Let's thank the sponsors of the show, and we will be right back.
Don't leave.
Judged by the Cover is brought to you by JW Creates. JW Creates is your local graphic design source that specializes in cover art, logos, and websites for bands, musicians, podcasters, small business, and solo entrepreneurs. I love to hear your story and to help bring it to life through the art of graphic design. To learn more and connect with me, go to jwcreates.com, check out my work, and use the form at the bottom to tell me more about your project. Let's work together to bring your story to life through the art of graphic design.
So, hey, we're back. This album not only entered the charts, it dominated the charts.
100%.
I mean, it was such a big event because you got to remember too, we had just, again, I was 13 when this came out. Just a few years earlier, he just did the moonwalk in front of a nationally televised event. It was huge to see somebody of that talent. He is a huge star. So Thriller logged an incredible 37 weeks at number one. At the time, one of the biggest runs in Billboard history. Here's where it gets unreal. 7 top 10 singles.
That's crazy. Out of 9.
Out of 9 tracks.
Out of 9.
So do you think that was a home run?
Yeah.
Do they hit? I mean, this thing. So I know you were saying like, and I agree with you. You were more into like the heavier music. Me at the time, I was listening to The Who. That was considered heavy. Def Leppard was out at the time. I was definitely into that. But there was something like special. I think some of the notes that I was looking at for this episode is Quincy Jones wanted a global appeal and he wanted like something cinematic. So they were really going for like, this is like a high concept album. You know, whether or not you love the genre or not, but it really transcended genres. It dominated R&B charts. It crossed over into rock radio. And it lived on MTV, heavy rotation forever. So the bottom line is, it didn't just top the charts, it redefined the charts.
Yeah. And I thought it was pretty crazy. Like, obviously, being younger, I didn't realize, like, culturally how big this album was.
Yeah.
So,
I know. Josh is losing his mind because one camera is looking at the other camera. But we'll survive.
Oh, people! If you could only see what these stupid cameras are doing, I love it.
Here, go. We'll take a quick. Hey, we're gonna take a quick camera break.
I have lost faith in these two guys.
Okay.
These two guys are in La La Land. They don't even know where they're at anymore. But yeah, I was listening to some notes on this, and they were talking about just how culturally this album, like you brought up MTV, this thing dominated MTV, but even in the 80s, MTV was still very segregated.
Yeah.
Like they had a very, like, they only played like rock and roll, and since this album was like R&B, it didn't fit that, but also like racially, like MTV was promoting mostly like white artists. And the label, I don't remember, do you know who the label is?
Yeah, Epic Records.
Basically told MTV, you're either going to play this album or we're going to pull our whole catalog and you're not going to have basically content.
Really?
Yeah, so this album really shaped culturally what it meant for like black artists to have the ability to be seen through MTV and stuff like that. But even just like visually, this album, Thriller, was like it was like $1 million production for the Thriller music video. That was 14 minutes long.
It was a movie. Yeah, it was essentially a short film.
A short film. Yeah. And that was like unheard of during this time. You know, obviously MTV was growing and stuff like that, but you know, your music videos were kind of corny, or it was almost like someone put it that it was almost like, you know, remember in the 90s the really bad sales commercials and stuff like that. Yeah. It was almost like it was a bad sales pitch for a band is what a lot of the visuals looked like. So it really changed that side of things as well.
Yeah, I mean, that was an event when that thing came out. We were watching that like we couldn't believe what we were seeing.
Yeah. So huge record. I think what was it in my notes here? Best-selling album of all time. Did you say that?
Yeah, I mean, at the time it was like the biggest Billboard release, you know, like with duration on the chart. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm sure things have changed. I mean, it's been many, many years since 1982. But oh yeah, I mean, this is definitely like Guinness Book of World Records kind of album drop.
Yeah, it was on the charts or led the charts for 2 consecutive years. Mm-hmm. Won 8 Grammys.
Unreal.
8.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Huge. I mean, just huge win. Gosh. And they got Vincent Price in there for the Thriller, you know, the track Thriller. Mm-hmm. It was like kind of late in the production of Thriller, producer Quincy Jones called in Vincent Price, and he did it really quickly. I remember watching a documentary on it. He probably did a handful of takes, and then they got what they needed, and he left, and that was it. And
that's crazy.
The rest is history.
I think the one thing that I got a lot of just reading through like the notes and stuff like that was how much of a perfectionist Michael was, mm-hmm. and that a lot of these things, like I think even like when it came to the album, things happened very quickly because like he was very meticulous like beforehand.
Yeah.
With his process.
Yeah. And also, like bringing in somebody like Vincent Price. Vincent Price is a legendary movie star. Mm-hmm. So they were really like, that wasn't an afterthought. That if you're talking about making a cinematic album, to bring in a huge legendary icon from like the black and white films and film noir, Vincent Price, that's a perfect matchup. And then they make this short film on it.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. And the lady who plays his girlfriend she's awesome. I mean, that's like you get a starring role in a 14-minute music video with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Like me as an actor, like that's like you just had the best gig of your life right there.
Come on.
Can you imagine what was it like? There is a behind the scenes of the making of Thriller.
Yeah. So one thing that I read as well is everything about this album revolutionized the industry. Mm-hmm. And so one of the big things that they did, because I think the industry as a whole was hurting really bad, was it's kind of like our world now. Content is king. Everybody's making content and like behind the scenes stuff. I think they were the first to think like, oh, we can film the behind the scenes, do documentary style, and then be able to sell that content to also make money. So, I don't know if they were like the first to do it, but they really revolutionized that whole concept and like capturing the whole process.
Yeah.
It started here.
And how about this? The special effects. I mean, I'm just guessing. I'd have to look this up. I think they probably used the special effects team that did like the werewolf, mm-hmm. werewolf movies. Because MJ turns into a straight up werewolf, and like his skin is stretching and the girl's freaking out. He's like busting out of his outfit.
It's been so long since I've seen that music video. In prepping, I probably should have watched it.
I remember. I could tell you almost frame by frame. Who was the director? Was it Harold Raymond? Not Raymond. Was it John Landis or something? I think, was it? I really want to know, like, if you see that in your notes. That's one thing that I don't have in my notes. And I should know that, being like kind of a film buff. It could have been John Landis. He was like a huge director at the time. So to have like a major Hollywood director direct this music video at the time when MTV was in its infancy, mm-hmm. I mean, these are like big milestones. These guys are planting some big time mile markers.
Brian Grant.
What?
Well, hold on. No. Nope, sorry. Cut
Brian
that.
Grant.
Cut that.
He was like the craft service guy on the shoot. He was the guy filling the M&Ms up.
My notes are kind of scattered. I'm not finding.
I think it's John Landis.
That sounds right.
Yeah. And if we're wrong, tell me in the comments.
Let us know in the comments.
Correct me, please.
Oh, man.
Let me just give you a couple other things. So they were obsessed with sonic clarity, and I know we're going to talk about the album cover because it's awesome. But they were really going for feeling. Like Michael was going more for. They didn't want vocal perfection. They were going for performance again, which is a very like movie making kind of thing. We want the feeling. I don't care if it's perfect. I just want the emotion has to be there. And then they were even questioning, should they get Eddie Van Halen to do that crazy solo, because he was such a rock guy. Like that was your guy.
Right. Did you read into that story or know that story?
Tell me about it.
So I may have the story, wrong, but I have most of the points. So basically, I think Quincy Jones, he wanted kind of that rock influence on that song, and so he brought in Eddie Van Halen, and I think Eddie only did it as like a favor to Quincy.
Oh wow!
But story goes that he was like blitzed out of his mind, like drunk, stumbled in, knocked out this guitar solo in like 20 minutes.
What?
Never got credit, never got paid.
Dang, that's crazy.
I think
that's a favor of all favors.
I think the story even goes he doesn't even really remember doing it.
How cool is that?
Talk about rock and roll.
I think I played on Beat It.
but to not even get credit, like that solo, I mean,
we all know who it is.
Of course.
Know that's his signature.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue it could be like one of the most famous solos.
I would say,
I mean, just because of like how culturally, like how that important this album was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
like Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's true.
That compared to this.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just think that's absolutely wild. But yeah, the instant you hear it, it's Van Halen.
It's so good, man.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of crossover. Like, I know you were touching on the race debate in the beginning where it's like the label was unhappy. They were going to pull all their artists. But you are right. I think, like, MTV at the time was... I'm trying to really think back, like, what African-American artists were also being played at the time. And you're right, man. It's probably pretty slim. I know that... oh my gosh, that song Pass the Dutchie, they were on MTV. Pass the Dutchie on the left hand side. The band name will come to me. It was a group. There was a boy group.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how Michael had a famous white actor, Vincent Price, on the album. A famous white rock and roll star of the time, Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney from the Beatles. Now, we also know that Michael bought the Beatles catalog.
Really?
Yeah. And he held that Beatles catalog for a while.
Wow.
He bought the Beatles catalog.
That's crazy.
Okay? So let that sink in.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's money problems I'll never know.
And I will say, like, The Girl Is Mine with Paul McCartney, that's track number 3. I was listening to this earlier today, and my wife was with me, and she's like, I hate that song. I mean, because it is kind of like let's get Paul McCartney to come in and do this kind of quirky novelty song. But it's now part of it, and it's like it's part and parcel of this incredible album.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just crazy. This article was going into just globally how this album like just shook up the world.
Yeah.
One of the examples they were talking about in like South Africa, again at that time was still very segregated, but this was one song or one album that was played on both like the predominantly white and the predominantly black stations.
Yeah.
Like it crossed over. It broke those barriers and it like forced people to like talk about these things.
Here's a cool note too. Quincy Jones later summarized Thriller as a collection of short films, each track with a distinct sonic identity. And
I can see that.
I mean, it's like it is a movie. It's as big as a major studio feature film. So do you want to talk about the album cover a little bit? What are your thoughts? Like when you first, because you just bought this, I think it's great that you can still buy this album.
Yeah. So this is a reissue. So I am not one that's gonna like go out and try and find. There might be some albums. Like Back in Black. I wanted like an original of that. So shout out to my boy Scott, Retro Vinyl Records, for hooking a brother up and finding that for me. But yeah, this is a reissue. So yeah, let's talk album cover. Yeah. And do we want to start with a little controversy, Phil?
Yeah, I would. I always like to start with controversy.
And the only reason I know about this is I saw a video on the Instagrams. And it's talking about an album by an artist whose name is Alphonso Jones. Did you look into Alphonso Jones?
Briefly.
So,
and I'm glad Michael Jackson became the star that he did, and not our friend Alfonso.
And so I'm gonna digitally put this album cover on the screen, but you're gonna instantly see that there is some similarities, shall we call it?
Man.
Both of these albums did come out in 1982. Alfonso's album actually came out first. It came out like summer-ish of 82. I believe Thriller came out September, November, somewhere in the fall. So there's an interesting article you can find online. It's a guy that makes a lot of content around music, but he talks about a cab ride where there was a guy. I think he was listening to Michael Jackson in the car, and the guy driving the cab said, "Hey, look up my name. I influenced Thriller."
Wow.
So the guy was like, "Okay, I'm into music stuff." So he looked it up, and Alfonso pops up, and you're gonna see him. He's wearing the white, jacket.
Yeah.
We got the white jacket.
Got the Jerry curl
going on. The pose, which we'll talk about the pose in a minute.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities to this album. And then when you listen to the music, it sounds like exactly Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Very similar. Yeah. So did Michael Jackson, did he swipe this from Alfonso? There's actually connections too, and I'm not going to go into all of it, but he actually has connections to Michael Jackson. I think one of Michael Jackson's sisters was on the same indie label that Alfonso was on.
It was Janet or Latoya.
Latoya. That's it. Thank you for knowing stuff. And so, so we may have a little controversy, but actually, the evidence may point to no, but it's kind of fun to dive into.
And there is nothing new under the sun too.
There is nothing new under the sun, which we'll get to in a minute when we talk about the pose a little bit more, because this is not original, at least the pose anyway. So let's talk album cover for Michael Jackson Thriller. So it's this iconic photo of Michael. He's in the pose. He's in a white suit. Do you know the story about the white suit?
Nope.
So the photographer, and we can get his name in the notes, but he had to go through a pretty lengthy process.
Dick Zimmerman.
Yes, Dick Zimmerman. He had to go through a lengthy process to be picked to be the photographer because Michael wanted to find somebody that was like really good at their craft, knew what they were doing, but wasn't going to be demeaning or harsh or anything like that.
Oh, wow.
And so he had to go through a process and basically won Michael's approval. Is how it came down. But he worked with a stylist in New York who was like pretty well known, and they pulled a bunch of stuff because he wanted to have options for Michael.
Yeah.
And Michael looked through the options. He's like, I'm really not loving anything, but the photographer was wearing this white suit, and Michael said, I like that. They were both very similar builds, so he was like, do you want to wear this suit? So he literally gave him the suit off of his back.
That's crazy.
And that's what ended up on the cover of this album. You got Michael. You've got this like really interesting kind of like glow coming off of Michael.
Like a halo.
Like a halo. Yeah. Almost like, I think of like movies like Ghost and stuff like that from the 80s. It almost looks like he's like disappearing, almost like a ghost.
Yeah. Maybe? And he's so poised, like he's so in control.
Yeah.
Like you just get the sense of like whatever this music is, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Really fun font, Michael Jackson Thriller up at the top right hand corner, and then maybe equally as
that's incredible.
Precious is the picture with the little lion cub, and I guess Michael was really scared that this lion cub was gonna like scratch it.
That's a tiger, by the way.
That's what I meant. Tiger.
I'm just, for anyone who's paying attention, that's a tiger.
It 1,000% is a tiger. It's the tiger cub. He was afraid that it was going to scratch, especially his face. So he was like very timid.
Was he?
Around.
Really? And he's like an animal lover.
Yeah. But it was like, especially when it got close to like his face and stuff like that, because
that'd mess it up.
That's the money, right? And so,
That's a big cat, even for a cub. Yeah. That's a big cat.
Intimidating.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah. So fun image there. There was tons of images shot, and there was even a special edition that came out. I think it was the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
And they chose a different image for the cover, and people lost their mind.
Really?
I think it's Michael holding the cub.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
And people hated it. They lost their mind.
Yeah, you can't mess with something that's etched in the public conscience.
Yeah, so it's a really well done shot. Like you said, you see the poise in Michael. There's a confidence.
Yeah.
It's the whole idea that kind of went behind the album too. Like all killer, no filler.
Yeah.
Like this album was just supposed to be like lights out. And I think just in the image, you get that confidence.
And it says Dick Zimmerman, the photographer, was known for clean, polished celebrity imagery. And boy, I tell you what, he nailed it. Do you want to talk a little bit about like the art direction, design, or what are your thoughts on like I think the gatefold is incredible when you open it up.
Yeah, just that image on the inside. It's overall just pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the inside, when you pull out the vinyl, it's all the lyrics, and then there's like hand-drawn image by Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
On one side, and then on the other, he did like a cartoon of him and Paul McCartney. So I had no idea MJ was actually an artist and a darn good, like freehand artist. It looked really good.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Kind of gave it a homey feel too. So you get this really clean, slick outer packaging, but then on the inside he gives you a little bit. Hey man, I'm just doodling too, which it humanizes it.
Yeah,
and then there's a huge track on this album called "Human Nature," which is probably one of my favorite songs of all time.
Really? Wow, I didn't know.
I'm a big look. Here's the thing. I was thinking about this album today. This album was kind of, I was too young. I was 13. I definitely had some crushes going on. But I think say I was like in my 20s when this album dropped, this is a date night album. Like, you put this album on when you're having your girl over for dinner. I mean, the whole thing, it's incredible. Yeah. And then that's how it played to me. Like when I was listening to it today, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like top shelf entertainment. I'm gonna drop some MJ on. I'm gonna make a nice, chicken parmesan, and a little, glass of red, and have my girl over. And simpler times in the '80s, baby. '82. There ain't no internet. There's this vinyl, and I'm telling you, man, this it's such a romantic. For me, it's romantic. Well, like when I think of Michael Jackson, it really brings like some really cool memories. Man.
Yeah. It's like grown up Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Fully arrived, fully who he is,
man,
probably.
Big time.
Yeah. One other fun just kind of note about the photo shoot. The photographer he said he really got to see this like real human side of Michael. Because like in front of the camera during like the photo shoot, like he said he almost was just a little timid, but he said once they were done shooting, he said he got to see Michael like in front of a mirror practicing like his spins and stuff like that. And it's like, it went from like timid to like, that's the showman. And like, he's like, it was in those moments where I saw that I knew that like this guy was special.
Yeah.
So pretty cool that he kind of got just an inside look into this person that was kind of larger than life for the most part.
And he pulled his dance moves from classic Hollywood film stars like Fred Astaire, and then who was it, Gene Kelly and Singing in the Rain?
Mm-hmm. I think that's right.
He would pull those moves.
Yeah.
If you look at those movies and you look at what Michael does, I mean, he was so into Hollywood. Yeah, it's really I like the marriage of cinema with pop music.
They do kind of they do play together well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So Quincy Jones actually is the one that selected the iconic photo.
Did he?
Know that? Yeah.
So sometimes the producer knows best.
Yeah.
Almost all the time, I think that's the cool thing about when you collaborate. And look, these guys are collaborating at a high level. But it's almost like I've noticed when you collaborate, like you and I collaborate on album, cover art, it's always better than how I would have thought about it alone. It's like anytime I've gotten involved, like I co-write with my wife, it's like there's always... You can elevate the material when you bring in another professional, because just
1000%.
your perspective. I'll say, hey man, I was thinking about this, and you're like, well, how about this? I'm like, whoa.
And it's a two-way street, right? Because I mean, the same thing. Like, I'm gonna hear something a certain way, and I'm gonna bring the idea to you.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like you're like, ooh, I like it, but this is actually more the direction.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes. So that collaboration is definitely important, and I think it takes both sides.
Yeah,
bringing it to the table.
It's fun, man. You can get stuck sometimes, like,
yeah,
it's got to be this way. I see it in my head.
1,000%.
But you got to have a sounding board. And you and I are working on a project for me that's coming out, sooner than later. But it's like, you labor over this music, and you're just like, God, the image has got to be right. Like this. I mean, how could you make something like that? I mean, I don't think anyone really shoots like this anymore, though, to be honest with you. You don't really see that kind of layout where the artist is, I kind of miss it. That's what makes it so special.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything modern that I can think of.
Think about what we just reviewed, like Joe's album. Mm-hmm. Joe, is it Joe Keery? Is that his name?
I think that's right.
That's a very, I Spy kind of concept where, I see that guy here, and there's this little mouse at the door, and there's all these things going on. It's almost like a treasure hunt. This is totally different. It's definitely a celebrity.
It's got like an aura to it. Yeah, 1,000%. I'm
trying to think.
I think the kids would call it vibes. Is that what the kids are saying?
Does Taylor Swift do anything like this?
No, I don't believe so.
How about that showgirl thing? Like we're still dressed up as a showgirl. That was very, not celebrity, but
like glamour.
Glamour, yeah.
Yeah,
like that old glam. Vegas vibe.
Yeah,
trying to romanticize the showgirl thing.
I'm trying to think. It would have to be pop because I feel like this is very pop world.
Yeah.
But off the top of my head, I can't think of anything like modern. That's
I'm kind of going through my head too. Like I'm even like, I mean, look at Jeff Buckley here.
Yeah,
I mean, he wanted something like that's like a sequin jacket. I think that's even maybe a female suit jacket, but he loved that image. And look at him, that's iconic.
Yeah, but that's even different too, right? Because that's like a captured moment. More intimate.
Yeah.
Where this has a very like production value, kind of to that like melding of the cinema and the the music.
Stage, very framed and thought out.
Yeah. Overall, great image. The pose. Did we talk about the pose?
No, but I love it.
I think this is a good segue into what I think I want to call like a who done it better.
Ooh, I like that part. Yeah, I like this.
Because everybody knows this album. I would say most people would recognize it. This is the Michael Jackson album that I would say most people know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this pose is not something that is unique to Michael. There were a lot of artists that did this, especially around the same time. But I think the first person to have it is Teddy Pendergrass.
Wow.
Because I think this album. Let's see if I can get to my notes here without messing too much up. So this album came out in 1981.
Oh wow.
And it's Time for Love, Teddy Pendergrass.
Yes, it is.
And so. Black and white shot. He's wearing a white suit. He's in the pose. My wife pointed out there's lots of triangles going on.
Yeah, interesting. And look at his hands. His hands making like a shape.
Is that the Illuminati symbol?
It might be, man. That's crazy. Yeah, it's definitely not like that.
Yeah, it's not a heart. But it's very sophisticated, right? Like very serious, very sophisticated. But I actually really enjoy this one. And then Lionel Richie. Let's try that. Lionel Richie.
It's a tiger, not a lion.
Lionel Richie. God, why can't I say it? Richie.
Because you weren't born.
Lionel Richie. Wow.
Dude, I was going out on first dates when Lionel Richie came out. Bro, he was in the Commodores before he went solo. This guy wrote so many slow jam, love jams. It make your head spin. Like, I love Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
I love Lionel Richie.
Yeah, so this one's slightly different, right? It's more colorful.
Yeah. And he's he's a little harder. Like, look at his face. He's a little more serious. Michael's like, I am in control. I will let you into my world, but I am still in control and master. He's kind of like, well, I'm going to be a little hard on this.
Yeah, I'm the man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're both great. I mean, look, Lionel Richie, he's no slouch. He's a big time star.
100%.
Epic hits.
So this one came out in 82 as well.
That's crazy.
Yep. So same year as Thriller.
Don't forget, like, movies. Like, say you make, Back to the Future as a big hit. Other studios are going to try to make similar movies
100%.
to capitalize on the train that's going.
100%.
Yep.
Luther Vandross.
Luther. Just say Luther.
Luther.
Luther speaks the love language. You know what I'm saying? That's real slow R&B.
This was 1986, so this one's much later. But this one definitely looks like 80s. Like, look at the fonts. The font choices are very interesting to me.
It is. They're like almost like New Times Roman.
Yeah.
And then also look at the fashion, like looser, more color.
Yeah.
And all the draping in the back. That's totally, gosh, this must have been like Photoshop version 1.0 just got released. Like an early draft.
Yeah, look at the texture on that font.
Yeah. Huge star, man. This guy's a great singer.
Yeah, and I maybe have heard some of this album, but I couldn't tell you if I have or not.
Yeah, he came from the church background. He was a backup singer.
Really?
But he was an arranger, producer, and a hit maker. Babyface. You know who Babyface is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is like Babyface took the Luther playbook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 100%.
And then we've got Alfonso, 1982 as well.
I like the white jacket, man. It's classy.
The bow tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely has the most amateur feel.
It really does.
Of the bunch. And I think it's because he was independent or like on an independent label.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure the budget was not there.
And it's funny because, he's not really lit that well. I think it's like, I don't know what it is. You're right. It just seems a little amateur, a little dark.
Yep.
Sorry, buddy. Oh.
And then obviously...
It's game over.
Yeah. So, do you have a favorite? Do you have a who done it best?
Ooh, well, I gotta say Michael, man. There's no comparison.
I will say I really like this one. That's just
classy.
Like
yeah, that's classy.
There's just like an attitude to it, classy. Yeah.
I think it's because I know the record so well, and I identify. I love the songs. I don't really know Teddy.
See, I don't either. But just like if I'm looking at the image, I kind of like this. Obviously, Michael's great image. But yeah, I think
Michael had that thing where it's like he could attract fans from any corner of this planet.
Yeah,
people fell in love. I mean, they deified this guy. I mean, that's just crazy.
For better or worse.
Yeah, but he had that kind of allure that he could just capture fans from anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So Thriller. Intentionally, maybe not intentionally. There's the biopic of Michael Jackson coming out this month. Definitely go check it out. It's something that I'm slightly interested in, especially
Me too.
more I've gotten into this album. I'm like, this is a very interesting person, and put aside any things, what you feel about him as a person, choices he made, stuff like that. Yeah. Maybe was framed.
For real. I kind of look at some of those biopics that are on Amazon Prime, and it's like, maybe, man, maybe somebody wanted to take him down, and they put all those allegations out there that he was a child, molester and all that stuff. I mean, you get that to that level, you're going to have some enemies.
And what's funny, it's funny that we've kind of gone this direction. There was some rumors early on that Michael's camp put out some of the crazy stories and stuff like that to like almost kind of build a circus around him.
Keep him in the news?
Yeah.
That's kind of sick.
For better or worse, and then tabloids I think really took it to a whole nother level. There was the theory is that they planted a lot to that stuff early on to just grow the mystique of Michael.
No press is bad press.
No press is bad.
You hear that all the time.
Yep, 100%. So yeah, great album, great image. I think this is something that we've talked about a lot on this show, but there's always a lot of value in a great image as your album cover.
Yeah.
Done well by a professional.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Yes. Take your time, like really think, like, high critical thinking on, like, you're presenting this product to the consumer market. Let's just be real, man. You might as well make it your best shot.
Yeah, and something that can like build like the brand and the persona and just the aura.
A little mystery,
that's
right?
That's a very new agey word to use for it, but
the mystery, and you're kind of like, man, this guy, what kind of life does this guy have?
Yeah. So I think those are always going to be well received covers, and I think we even talked about that during the Grammy episode. All of those were basically photos, different obviously than the Thriller album cover, but great imagery that either like shares a story, draws you in.
Yeah.
Again,
I will say I really liked that episode because it gave me a chance to really, like, again, look critically at this array of different albums. I mean, we had Joe. Then who was the guy with the two chairs? Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, and I was like, what's up with that? I mean, still interesting, but again, like, we're talking about this stuff, so it behooves you to really think about your album art and really try to get it right.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there are no redo. Sure, there's a redo, but especially in this day and age, you're not gonna. They would recall albums like AC/DC. They wanted. They were fighting that album cover forever, and I think they pulled it back and embossed it. And re-released it. I mean, that cost a big time cash.
Yeah. Well, I know there are Beatles albums that they had to pull and change the cover. There's a Blink-182 cover that the Red Cross actually came after him and said you have to change it.
Oh, wow.
That could be a story for a different day.
Yeah, I'd like to learn. I want to hear about that. Let's say for real. Say that.
So yeah, make sure you get someone to double check and make sure you're not infringing on copyright or trademarks.
That's no joke, man. They will shut you down, man.
They don't play, man. So yeah, this was a fun one. Slightly chaotic thanks to technology.
Well, we're trying some new cameras, and I told Josh, it's like, man, you're always gonna have hiccups, and look, hey, it's always a learning curve.
Yeah. So tell us how bad it was in the comments, or you can drop us a line, info@JWCreates. Would love to hear your thoughts on the show, what you think about the album Thriller.
Yeah.
Tell us if you go check out the movie and let us know what you think.
Let us know your thoughts on the movie.
You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at JWCreates. Also on TikTok at JWCreates.
What's the YouTube handle?
Judged by the Cover Podcast.
Gotcha.
At Judged by the Cover Podcast.
I like it on YouTube the best. I'll be honest with you.
100%. 100%. Trying to share a lot of shorts there too. Playing the whole social media game is fun, I'll tell you.
It is. Ha ha.
So yeah, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. If you're still here, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
See you guys.